Welcome, sports fans. Welcome to the chatter. I'm Mike Ponce.
I'm Clifford Davis.
And I'm Billy Maxwell.
Hey, good to see you guys. Hey, today's our discussion, right? I know we touched on this a few segments ago, but I really wanted to kind of talk about who you guys feel is on the Mount Rushmore of sports athletes, right? We talked about the best basketball players of all time. We talked about who could be football and baseball, but I finally wanted to talk with you guys who we feel is the all-time greatest, the greatest of all times in their perspective, sports, events, whatever it may be. But that's what I want to hear where the passion come from you guys. What are you guys thinking, right?
Well, I mean, like we talked about this before, trying to set this up, this is no holds bar, it's just who is the greatest, say it, explain why you think that guy is the greatest, why he's above everybody else. Are we talking stats? Are we talking records? Are we talking gold medals? Are we talking world championships? It's all in, whatever you want, whatever you believe makes him the greatest or her, then that's what it is.
He said, or her. Hey, got a little sneak peek of my all-time. I think that's how we'll lead it. We'll do an all-time Rushmore because that's the thing is we want to legitimately go who are the GOATs of all time, right? We're leaving that. I definitely want to hear what you guys have your personal all-time, right? They may not be the best, but to you yourself, right? And you'll hear obviously the passion when I speak about my personal greatest of all time. And then one of them actually is known as probably the greatest of in his sport. But some of the other guys in your personals, right, we won't have. But I'll go ahead and start off. So all-time great on my Rushmore, right? We just got done talking about this gentleman, right? Michael Jordan. He's an all-time favorite of mine. I have him as on my Mount Rushmore. I have Tiger Woods as an all-time great. I have Muhammad Ali as an all-time great. I have Tom Brady as an all-time great. And I have Serena Williams as an all-time great.
All right. Well, let's talk about yours first, and then we'll move on to each of ours and, try to, shake out why maybe that ain't right. So, you said Jordan. I'm right there with Jordan. So, Jordan, I'm not touching that. Hey, he's there, period. Okay. Who is the other one? Serena Williams. I'm going to go with that one first. Serena Williams. I'm glad after we had a conversation that you chose Serena Williams over Roger Federer because I know you really wanted to put him down. He's got more Grand Slams, and I get that the competition he's gone against is easy. Those two, that's one of the competitions I really want to see. I want to see Roger Federer play Serena Williams, and let's see who's the greatest all-time tennis player. Period. Let's do it. Can we make that happen? All right, so who else you had?
I don't think that's fair because I would tell you Roger would kick her ass.
Hey, man, come on now, come on.
Okay, all right, you're probably right. All right, yeah, she is an all-time great. And the reason I named 5 all-time greats currently on Rushmore, there's only 4 heads, but there's always that ability for that fifth spot, right? And I feel that she definitely is an all-time great. Can't leave out the females. She is number one. But no, I had Jordan. I had Tiger Woods. To me personally, and it will lead to it, but he's also as my GOAT personal. There's nobody else who growing up, right? Did anybody ever like golf? Really? I mean, golf people are, oh, golf's so boring. Golf's not fun. How can you watch golf on TV? If you watch Tiger Woods kick everybody's butt on the course, you'll really take a step back and reevaluate your love for the sport. Like me, even personally, if Tiger is not playing, I ain't watching. I mean, there's a couple of other great golfers I like Jordan Spieth, Dustin Johnson. Those guys are like the best of the best currently. They're fun to watch. They're really good at what they do. But if Tiger's not playing, I'm not watching. He's definitely going to be his all-time GOAT. And then my last one, Muhammad Ali, and then Tom Brady. So Muhammad Ali being a boxer. Is he my favorite boxer? No, I have other boxers that I like, but he is the greatest of all time. And then Tom Brady. Love him or hate him, being on the Patriots, right? I'm a Cowboys fan. Would I love Tom Brady to be on my team? Absolutely. Maybe we're winning 10 championships. I don't know. But that kind of rounds up my top. It was Jordan, Tiger, Ali, and Tom Brady. And then I rounded, I did my fifth one with Serena.
All right, so real quick, let me tell you why you're wrong in your last three, okay? So, well, let's start with Ali. I love Ali, right? I want to put him on my list, right? My personal favorites, Ali, love the guy, man. He's amazing, went against some of the best boxers. However, you got Sugar Ray Robinson. Had twice as many fights, right? And only lost once. Ali can't say that, you know? Last two fights Ali had, he left boxing, losing his last two fights. I think he lost 5 overall. 3 of them he came back and beat the guys that beat him. But the last 2 fights he had, he didn't beat those guys. So there's Ali, Tiger Woods. You have Jack Nicklaus. Got 18 majors to Tiger Woods 15. Sorry, Tiger. I love him. I'm right there with you. If it wasn't for Tiger, I probably wouldn't be paying attention to golf. So I love Tiger, but I need him to win 4 more majors so I can be there with you, okay? Serena Williams, Roger Federer, because they're so close. I keep them out of the GOAT debate because there's competition there. Is it her or is it him? It's too close to really call, so I don't put them in the top 5 either. And then I'm missing one that you said.
Tommy.
Tom Brady, yeah. How many times did he cheat? What was it? Deflategate, Spygate. They had to cheat by spying on the Bengals this year. Come on, Tom. You're better than that. You're not in my top, period. I will never put the Patriots or Tom Brady in the greatest all time because of all the times they cheated, right? Screw those championships. Put an asterisk next to it. It don't count.
He got the rings. Or what happens if he wins one with the Bucks? Are you still gonna doubt him out? I mean, what's going on?
Well, I mean, did he take the film crew with him?
Hey, he's on the Rushmore, but I mean, if you have so much passion, who are your? I want to know what's on your all-time great Rushmores, because I always have Jordan. You hated on my Tiger, my Ali, my Tom Brady. You pretty much you just shit. Took a dump on my Rushmore.
I mean, I don't want to deprive Billy of
Billy, back me up.
Sitting on
yeah, man, I like you to stay out on the distance, and then I'll get my attack in at that point. Kind of hear the whole conversation, then I'll come at.
I'm ready.
So since I put on the attack early, let me go ahead and put mine out there. Wayne Gretzky, right? He's nicknamed the Great One. He's had 61 NHL records that he either shared or currently holds, right? He is his points, it's considered unreachable. Nobody will ever make that. He has so many records. I think it was like 30-something records that are considered, right? Maybe it's 23, but considered unreachable, unbreakable. Just not going to happen. Not today, not ever, right? He is number 1, period, right? Then I have Michael Jordan. So, I mean, we're all in agreement with that. Michael Jordan's there. Then I have the most decorated Olympian ever, Michael Phelps, who currently holds multiple records in swimming. You can't disagree with it. He's the most decorated Olympian. All right? Behind him, with 8 gold medals and 3 current Olympic records, I got Usain Bolt, fastest man in the world. Come on, Tom Brady, what? Okay, and then lastly, to close it out, I got Pele, best soccer player ever. Maybe I might consider Madonna, but hand to God, you got to cheat to win? Nope, don't think so.
No one cares. All right, if anybody's a sports of the big 4, we don't care about swimming and track and field. That happens every 4 years. I'm talking about every day, every year. I mean, sports every year. Like, we're talking about baseball, basketball, football, hockey. Okay, I'll go with Gretzky. At least they're playing every year. Phelps, okay, great. All-time Olympian. Usain Bolt, right? I mean, those guys every 4 years, when the lights are on, they're the fucking best. But they're only playing every 4 years. I mean, it's so easy.
Current world records. hold on real quick. So you want to talk about Michael Phelps, right? 82 medals in major international long course competitions, of which 65 were gold, 14 were silver, and 3 were bronze. In the Olympics, the World Championships, the Pan Pacific Championships, Phelps have set 39 world records, 29 individual, 10 relay.
Hey, well, you know what? I hope with how broad his shoulders are, he better be doing that good. Like, come on now. Like, it's an unfair advantage. Have you seen
They got him on Shark Week trying to outbeat a great white shark. Come on now.
He's so broad shoulders. You can get those. You can get the whole movement.
Hey, I'm not hating. I mean, or I'm not debating or going against you. They are. Yeah, I agree. Michael Phelps, greatest Olympian swimmer of all time. But why should he be a greatest of all time on your Rushmore? Why is he better than the greatest football player, the greatest baseball player, the greatest? Well, you had Pele, but if there's only 4 faces, you wouldn't have him in your top 4. You easily would have had Gretzky, Mike, and then Phelps and then Usain, right? Why not have Usain and Mike? They're not your traditional sport athletes. You're just going for the best of just at that time. I mean, I'm not hating on the
greatest all-time athletes. Greatest
every 4 years.
Time athletes.
Yeah, but every 4 years.
Decorated Olympian. Fastest man in the world ever.
Every 4 years. Billy, what do you got?
Billy, you there?
All right, so this heated debate. I don't know if I'm ready to go in the fire. Can you hear me, guys? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right, sorry guys. Service going in and out a little bit, so we're gonna have to work with it. I'm gonna start out with I got Michael Jordan. I got Pele. Here's a curveball for you. I've been watching a lot of NASCAR lately, and I'm gonna tell you about my boy Jimmy Johnson. He's a 7-time NASCAR champion. I know he's only going left turns, but that guy, have you ever seen him race? Like I watched the Charlotte or the Coca-Cola 600 last night. Man, that race was intense. You know, he was in that fight to the very end. Jim Brown, and then Jackie Robinson to end out.
Yeah. Okay, yes. Again, it's in their sport, right? Racing is obviously a sport, but it's the same thing with if is cheerleading a sport, right? They always say those things. It's like, can we really count? I mean, is NASCAR a sport? Yes, they're competing, right? There's winners and there's losers. You win money, there's prizes, you know. But what type of conditioning? I mean, if it's athletes, right? Are they doing any type of drills that make their ability to be better race car? What makes Jimmy Johnson an all-time great? Is it because does he have a better engine? Does he just know the turns better? Like, how does that work?
Well, within the past, like they were doing a lot of the coverage, they were saying that within the past 2 days before the race on Wednesday, that he rode his bike for like the past 2 days. He rode 55 miles. You know, like he's conditioning, you know, to be in that race car. I know it seems like not a big thing, you know, just you're sitting in a car, you're just driving the whole time. But, you know, being in those conditions, you know, there's no AC in that car. You know, you have to have good hydration, you know, because you're going to get dehydrated throughout the whole thing. Although you are in a car and, you know, there's an engine, so you're not necessarily out in the elements doing everything, but you are, you know, having to like find schemes out. You know, should you take the high road or the low road? You know, who's gonna be there to push you forward? You know, what teammate are you going to have to back you up? You know, what are you going to go to the pit on a caution? You know, what are you going to do? So there's a lot of extra stuff that just I never thought about. I'm going to be honest with you. Before the coronavirus became a thing, you know, I didn't watch NASCAR, but I've watched the last 3 races, probably just because, you know, I'm missing sports. And it's been entertaining each one. You know, there's been some story in it that's just you don't think is going to happen. And, you know, like the first race back, he actually wrecked after leading in stage 1. And then last night he finished in second place. But, you know, for me personally, I think he's the greatest NASCAR player. And it might not be the luxurious football player or, you know, some high end like basketball player, but, you know, he's still the greatest at his sport.
No, I'm sold. I mean, that makes me actually want to appreciate NASCAR a little more. If now I know who is the greatest, right? If Jimmy Johnson is great, because I've only known Jeff Gordon, Dale Earnhardt Jr., right? Ryan Newman, things like you kind of just hear. But knowing now that I can go in and knowing, okay, this is the GOAT, like this is a Rushmore of Billy, then I may appreciate the sport a little more. Definitely, hey, I'll take him over Michael Phelps any day. Hey, count it. Who else did you have?
I have Pele, just greatest soccer player. I mean, he what was it? He scored 1,281 goals in 1,363 matches. That's a crazy stat that only he has. And in 1999, he was voted as the World Player of the Century. And if you're voted the best player in the century, how can you not be the greatest? In your sport, that should already classify you as someone on Rushmore to be the greatest of all time. If you're the greatest of a century.
Yeah, I think you had him as well, right, Cliff? You had Pele.
Yep, I had him in number 5.
I'm Latino. I mean, soccer, football, however you want to pronounce it, has been in my blood since I was been born, right? I've always enjoyed the sport. And for you guys to at least appreciate that sport and put them on the Rushmore, I mean, that's kudos to both you guys. I mean, we had Cliff.
Mike, come on. Me and you have played soccer together for years. What are you talking about?
But, the thing is, we'll talk about when we go to the personal Rushmore. I do have a football player, soccer, on my Rushmore. It's not Pele. Am I doubting Pele's greatness? No. I mean, there would be – I agree 110% that you guys – he is the greatest of all time, all right? You have your Peles, your Maradonas, now your Messis, Ronaldos, people are talking about for, this generation. Pele, I love the pick. And I think even Brazilians, right? Brazilian made the world love soccer the way they played, right? You watched them win all the championships in the 90s, early 2000s, even now. Some of the greatest, right? You have Neymar, some of the greatest players now are all Brazilian, and Pele is the one who started it all. They all wanted to be like Pele. I agree. Absolutely. Perfect pick, both of you guys.
Who else you got, Billy?
I had Jim Brown.
Okay.
Yeah, he is a member of the College and Professional Football Hall of Fame, and as well as the Lacrosse Hall of Fame. He's great in 2 sports. So I mean, you're talking about being great in one. He's a GOAT, or considered a great player in 2 sports. He's rushed over 12,000 yards in the NFL. Had over 100 rushing touchdowns. I mean, if you got to be pretty good to be in the Hall of Fame, and even better to be good at 2 sports to be in their Hall of Fame. So for that reason, I have him on my Mount Rushmore on the GOAT list. I also have, we already talked about Michael Jordan, greatest basketball player currently of all time. And then at the end, I have Jackie Robinson breaking the color barrier for baseball. I think that's one of the best accolades that he brought to baseball, was that, he broke the color barrier of allowing African Americans to come into baseball. And, it's every baseball team actually has number 42 retired, and they have a game where they all played, with the number 42 on. So with that, you can't look at his career and go and let it go unnoticed. For me personally, he's my 5th guy that I would add to Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, everything. Yeah, I'm with you. Right, what, Cliff? I mean, Jackie Robinson, that's the greatest accolade, right? Bringing the color into the sport, and I think it transcended to the game for the Latin players, right? The Dominican Republicans, the Puerto Ricans,
yep,
the Venezuelans, right? And they're right. We talk about
Ozzie Smith, man.
Right, Ozzie, right? These are colored players, and they've made the game a lot greater than what they are right now. I mean, one of my all-time favorites, Ken Griffey Jr., right? He's not white. He's a colored player, and I appreciate that. Yeah, you're right. They retired the jersey, right? They all play with 42. Great pick. Now, Jim Brown, does he have rings? As an all-time great, he's spitting out yards and loving for the sport, but I don't know if he has any championships. How can he be a Mount Rushmore of all-time greats? Where's the rings?
So he doesn't have the rings, but he.
Yeah, I think we lost Billy again. Billy, you there?
And even with wait, because now I'm going back, right? Because I know you're hating on Tom Brady and Spygate, but you still want.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Go ahead, Billy.
Yeah, go ahead, Billy.
All right.
Jim
Yeah,
Brown.
he doesn't have the championships, but me personally, with what he accomplished in his career, it might not be the pretty pick or the pick with championships, but he still did great in two sports. He wasn't. I kind of thought up in the air with Bo Jackson, kind of the same thing, great at two sports. But out of those two, I wanted to include one, and Jim Brown for me, I think, really deserves it more out of those two. And it might not be the flashy pick, but for those reasons, I put him in Mount Rushmore, regardless of him not having championships to back it up.
Okay. So now that we got out our greatest all times, right? I know me and Mike probably had the biggest disputes with it there. Let's look at what's that?
No, I was just kind of because I know Jim. What he did football and then lacrosse, right? Or what was his second sport?
Who Jim Brown?
Yeah,
it was football and lacrosse.
Oh, okay, yeah, I remember he did something similar.
He's in the Hall of Fame, College Hall of Fame
for lacrosse
and football.
No.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Go ahead, Cliff. I didn't mean to interrupt, but no, I mean Jim. I can't hate on Jim Brown. He's all-time great.
Yeah.
At least Cliff. At least he's choosing top 4 freaking sports, right? We have swimming and being track and field.
Come on, man.
Talking about the
Fastest man
Olympics.
in the world, fastest swimmer. Come on now. Okay.
Maybe we should have our Rushmore Olympian Rushmores. That would have been fine. We have our Olympian Rushmore, Mount Rushmore.
Hey, if you had your Olympian Rushmore, would you be leaving out Usain Bolt and Michael Phillips?
Well, let's say this. How about this? If you had a chance to meet and watch Albert Pujols or Michael
I have done
Phelps,
that.
then who would you choose? I mean, would you if you had the chance to play a game with Albert Pujols, maybe play catch or go swimming with Michael Phelps, what would you choose?
Well, I can't really swim that well, so of course I'm gonna, and Albert Pujols, dude's one of my all-time favorites. Only one he's behind is Ozzie Smith. So of course I'm gonna play catch with Albert Pujols, right? I've been at the games. I've literally been able to yell at him and talk to him, from the stands, and him talk back when I took my dad, the first game I ever took him to.
I like your picks, but it is your Rushmore, right? So
all right. So moving on, though, so we already looked at, our greatest all time. So personal Rushmore, though, right? Stats don't matter. Records don't matter. Championships don't matter. All time, who's on your personal Rushmore?
Did we lose Billy?
Let's start it out.
Go ahead, Billy.
All right. Yeah, I'll start us out. Hopefully I won't cut out again. Sorry about that, guys. I have Michael Jordan, again, on my personal. Dirk Nowitzki, LaDainian Tomlinson, and Adrian Beltre.
Okay. Any reason in particular you picked those guys?
Well, Michael Jordan, I wasn't able to really see a whole lot of him playing growing up, but, even watching The Last Dance made me want to look back and, just see those stats. He's still the greatest of all time. Dirk Nowitzki, I grew up a Mavs fan, and, from the get-go, he was there for 20 seasons, which has only been done by, before that was Kobe Bryant and Tim Duncan. He was a guy who wasn't always the highest caliber player. He wasn't always looked at as a top 5 overall player, but he led the team to a championship in 2011. And, it took less money to stay with the team that he loved so much. He grew up, honorary Texan from Germany. And that's why he's on my personal Mount Rushmore, just because, even after basketball, I still try to look up and see what he's doing with his time, if he's going to, be in the Mavericks organization, what he's doing charity-wise, and just things like that around town in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. LaDainian Tomlinson, he went to TCU, running back. He could have had a chance of beating Emmitt Smith's record of all rushing yards. It didn't happen, but just an explosive back for San Diego, for the San Diego Chargers. And would just love to see him. You know, every time I played Madden, I would play with the Chargers just so I could play with LT. And it didn't matter what it was. If you were on the 2-yard line and you wanted to do a halfback draw, give it to him. He's going to give you the touchdown every time. And then that ended out just Adrian Beltre. Although he was in the league since 1998, I think, but he was with the Rangers for the longest time out of that, like I think 7 or 8 years. With the team the longest. So for that, you know, we weren't able to win a World Series with him, but loved watching him, you know, going down to one knee every time he would hit the ball. Just a great player, great charismatic player, you know, team player all the way around. So that's my personal Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, well, you know, it's funny because you mentioned I'm a big fan of the Rangers. Ryan Beltran is a great player. Well, we'll blame Nelson Cruz and then Albert Pujols and the Cardinals for us not win those championships.
That's right.
I think twice it was full count. No, it was twice we had 2 strikes. Like we literally would be champions. Just strike this dude out. And
I'm never gonna forget that. Never gonna forget that.
I remember I think I was at a Buffalo Wild Wings, and I'm like, yes, Rangers are finally, you know, we're gonna win a championship. And I think even too in the back of my heart, I was like, yes, so I could talk some trash to Cliff and his dang St. Louis Cardinals, but no, he took the L on that one. I love the Dirk pick and LT as well. No, I think if you think about now, because I remember reading some stats on LT, right? Because he went to college in Texas. He had like 400-yard games in college. It's like this dude's running for 400 yards a game. Like think about players now, right? If they're running 400-yard, if they're doing 400-yard games, and these guys are who's next? I mean, who do we know right now who's doing 400-yard games in college? I mean, with 2-back systems and all that stuff, even in pros, like this dude's a beast. Go ahead, Cliff. I knew you were saying something.
Well,
I interrupted. Sorry.
So since give Mike a chance to attack me first, I got Michael Jordan too. Like I said before, I think he's all-time great. Period. He's the GOAT. I think LeBron will pass him eventually. I think it's there for LeBron to take. But Michael Jordan's on my list. If it wasn't him, it'd be Kobe. Because as much as I like Jordan, it was Kobe that made me love basketball. So it really could go either way. But, I mean, if I didn't have Michael, it'd definitely be Kobe. For my next one, I got Lionel Messi. I know we're talking soccer. I know Mike's trying to downplay, how much I actually know about soccer or how much I care about it or how many times me and him have been out there playing and actually winning pickup games or league games together. But Messi, period. I love the dude. He's amazing. Played for Barcelona, which is my soccer team. Without a doubt, Messi, he's on there. I'll leave this one for last. Drew Brees. I have Drew Brees on there, right? I know Mike's probably got Tom Brady on there, but Drew Brees, he's a respectable guy, right? He's got only one championship. Really should have been able to have a shot at a second one, but, got cheated by the refs that clearly didn't see. They were covering their eyes. They're like, oh, my God, nope, we can't see this. Rams are going to the Super Bowl. Come on now, right? He's got the most passing yards of anybody. He's got just numerous records that are out there in the NFL. Really, if it wasn't him, I was really looking at Peyton Manning, Brett Favre, who Mike knows that I love, Kurt Warner, who was the quarterback for the Rams in St. Louis when they were there. I thought his story was amazing. Coming out of, being was he stocking shelves and then just walked on, became an NFL quarterback. I mean, you can't hate that. And he's just a great guy. And I also looked at Deion Sanders and Bo Jackson too. I think any of those would have been great. But when it came down to it, with the stats and everything else, Drew Brees. And my last one, we've already kind of talked about him. You know, I know you guys hate him, but Albert Pujols. You know, I love the guy. He's an amazing person. If you watch what he does with charities, it's another reason why I like Drew Brees. He's a great guy. It's not that he's just a great athlete. He's a great individual. I mean, to talk to, you know, a young fan in the stands and just allow him to love baseball that much more. I can't. I think that he has a chance of moving up on the all-time home run list. Hopefully, you know, he'll move up another one this year if we get baseball back. I think he has the potential to go up there. You know, you could look at Barry Bonds, but, you know, with the whole all of them doing steroids and all that, I don't know if I could trust Barry Bonds didn't do steroids, you know, so I can't put Barry Bonds on that list. As much as, you know, saying he's the home run king, you know, we know if he did steroids, we don't. So, period. And then, you know, I also looked at Babe Ruth, Hank Aaron, Jackie Robinson, Nolan Ryan, and one of my other St. Louis Cardinals all-time favorites, Ozzie Smith. And that's pretty much my Mount Rushmore.
No, I mean, other than that's the thing is like with these Rushmores, right? I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be the greatest of all time in their sports, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's personal. It's who you grew up watching. Yeah, I mean, Pujols again. You hate to love him, right? I mean, if he's someone or if he's a reason why your team or someone that you rooted for didn't win a championship, of course you'll be like, I hate this guy. But you're right. I mean, he's a great player. I mean, he's playing with the Angels out here in LA, and you know, I've watched numerous games. And he's just, and then obviously interviews and there's nothing bad ever said about Albert Pujols. To me, he's a great person off the field, and that's what really, I mean, I can see why he's an idol to a lot of kids, and not just for fans of the sport, but I mean, even from his home country, right?
Well, I mean, even me and you, Mike, we've gone to a few Angel games together and watched them play. You know, it's just, it's one of those. He'd be on my list no matter what. I just, from being able to watch him as a kid and everything, you know, seeing who he is as a person, you know, I don't know him personally or anything like that, but I mean, you see how he is, you see what he does with charities, you know, he's a very humble guy from everything you can see about him. He's on my list.
I'm definitely shocked why you had Drew Brees. I mean, great guy, absolutely, right? I mean, I'm knowing you out there. Yeah, Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, like throwing all those guys. You have Drew Brees. I mean, he's a Texas boy. He's from Austin. You know, I mean, I love Drew Brees. I'm kind of shocked that he's on your Rushmore.
It was a debate. I debated that one for a while. That was the last one I chose. That one took me a while to pick.
Yeah, no, but I'm a little bit different from you guys. I know you guys both had Mike, right? You had Mike Jordan on. I don't have him on my Rushmore at all. I mean, he's a great player. Grew up wanting to be like Mike, but I have a different Mike, and that's Iron Mike Tyson. I have him on my Rushmore. He's, to me, growing up, I don't know if it has something to do with infatuation of having the same name, right? Just like Michael Jordan and Mike Tyson, right? Michael Phelps, right? These guys are great.
Living legends.
Yeah, living legends, right? But Iron Mike Tyson, at his prime, really, when you get a chance, I encourage, watch some YouTube clips of just like Mike Tyson knockouts. There was a span of like 10 years, similar like with Tiger Woods, when he was, for 10 years, I'm talking about he was the dominant of his sport, heavyweight. I mean, he wasn't like the big old bruiser who's 6'5", 280 pounds, who's just like pounding on. I mean, this guy is short, stocky, 5'10", 220, just chiseled, fast, and he'll knock crap out of you. And if you've been keeping up like now, I think I seen something online that they're trying to get him back out of retirement or something. And he's been posting pictures of him on social media. He's like, oh, obviously
he's a beast.
But he's still –
He got offered a contract too. He got offered a $20 million contract too from Bare Knuckles, like something or some Bear something.
I mean, he's the guy, right? I mean, if you ever hear about shit talking, right? I mean, he knock your freaking head off. You know, I'm gonna have sex with you until you love me. Yeah, he's just, I mean, he's a crazy.
He's going to go out there and fight Pacquiao.
I love Pacquiao too. I one time, you know what? He would probably be someone that you could probably throw on a Rushmore. At one point, again, he was one of those guys that you hated. Right? I hated Pacquiao because he kept beating all the Mexican fighters. I'm like, God dang, I hate this dude. Why does he always keep winning? And then there's something that flips a switch and like, dang, living legend. Manny Pacquiao is definitely going to go down as one of the all-time greatest. People talk about Mayweather undefeated and things like that, but he got out. I know you talked about Ali, right? Losing his last 2 fights. I mean, there's a time where boxing needs to hang it up, and Mayweather's did it when he's undefeated. He could probably still keep fighting, but he probably will lose. So yeah, no, I had Iron Mike. Love boxing. Every time there's a major boxing match on, whether it's the guys who are fighting now. I mean, I know you guys like MMA and things like that, but it's similar like where the Olympics come every 4 years. Boxing is really every 4 to 5 months. You know, like big. And then when Mike was fighting, everyone on my family, we always had to watch around and watch Mike. Like if Mike was fighting, we were all watching. Tiger Woods. Keep going with my Rushmore. I have. Again, there's nobody in golf that I would – again, nobody watches golf. Like, it's like, hey, guys, let's go watch golf. You know, it's boring. It's quiet. You just wait. There's crowds, but you have to be quiet when they're hitting. You know, you can't talk. There's just – it's very dull until you actually see someone who transcended the game. Again, there's a time at 10 years that that Tiger – was so much better than everybody that it wasn't even close. And I know you kind of harped on him not having as many championships as Jack Nicklaus, but there's a time also where it's 10 years where he had back problems off the field, you know, with the women, the scandal with the women and things like that. But that's what I love about Tiger is, I mean, he's a human, right? He dominated the sport on the course, and then off to mess around with the women's, you know, hey, you can't.
Greatest comeback ever.
And then, yeah, and he did win. He's won a major since he's been back. And if you guys watched it this weekend, right? He won again, right? Him and Peyton.
Watched him and Peyton. Yeah, that was great. I was great to see Brady lose again.
Yeah, see, again, right? If Tiger wasn't playing, right, would you guys be watching? Okay, would you guys want to watch Peyton, Tiger, and Tom Brady play golf? I'm like, whatever.
Maybe.
But now there's no sports, okay? So it's something to watch, but like. If Tiger's playing, I'm watching. Right, there's no time on Sundays, right? You can do anything else you want to do on Sunday, but that's when championship days for golf, and that's when Tiger was winning championships, right? They play Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday on the weekends, but Sunday is the day that Tiger puts on his red shirt and he's going out there to kick your butt. I mean, he's 40s now, right? He's not dominating the sport like he did in the past, but when he was, he was. It's like NASCAR. I mean, imagine him just lapping people. Imagine Jimmy Johnson lapping people. That's how multiple lapping people. That's how great Tiger is at his sport, and I love watching him. I mean, I've had opportunities to be up close and personal. He's a beast of a man, and he's everything that you love about golf. He hits it hard. I mean, when he's putting, amazing. Like, it's just he makes golf so much better. So again, personal Rushmore. It's that Iron Mike. All-time favorite. Love the guy. Still love the guy. He can fight forever. Tiger Woods. He makes golf enjoyable. I wouldn't be watching golf without Tiger Woods. And then my next one, right? Still got 2 more to go, but it's the first time I seen this guy. I was in Japan. Right? I think it was World Cup 2004. And I remember it was weird because in Japan the time frame was a lot different. This game was going like at midnight, so we're watching it in the clubs. But anyways, so seeing this guy as a teenager, like being like, who is this guy? Not only is he tall, he's attractive, women love him. He's also one of the best to ever play the game, and he's a living legend. It's Cristiano Ronaldo. Obviously, he is my guy. I want to be like him. I want to be him. Like, people want to say Messi and Ronaldo debate. I don't want to be Messi. Messi is a great player. I kid you not. He's got a great player, great team. He's got championships. There's a reason why there's a debate about him being all-time, arguably the best player to ever play. But I don't want to be Messi. I want to be Cristiano Ronaldo. Maybe I feel like he is someone that I idolize. I want to be just like him, and he makes me love watching soccer. He's getting older. He's not as quick as he was. He's not as He's not what he was in the best, but he's also won championships in England. He's won championships in Spain. Now he's playing in Italy. Messi ain't done none of that. He's always been in the same team he wins championships. Kind of similar to like Tim Duncan, right? Stays on the same teams, wins championship. He's a great player. I'm not debating on that, but I have Cristiano as my personal GOAT Mount Rushmore. I would never have Messi. There's no way I would ever be like, okay, now I want Messi. Until the day I die, I'll always be a Ronaldo over Messi. And it has nothing to do with even if Messi won 10 more rings, right? If he won 20 more championships, he would never be on my personal GOAT of on my Mount Rushmore. And then I'll round it out. I have Barry Sanders. Again, he doesn't go down as a GOAT of the sport, but he is probably arguably a top 5 running back of all time. But what this guy did for the Detroit Lions, I always said, because I'm a Cowboy fan, Emmitt Smith being a favorite of mine, but if Barry Sanders was playing on the Cowboys, that dude's running for 20,000 yards. If he had the holes that the Dallas Cowboys opened up for Emmitt Smith, this dude, he's having 600-yard games. He's getting 6 touchdowns a game. Barry hit 2,000 yards playing behind the Detroit Lions. Like if he had the Cowboys line, if he played for the Denver Broncos, right, where there's zone run blocking with Terrell Davis and them getting 2,000 yards, Barry Sanders is running for 3,000 yards. He's all, and just watching him, he's a little guy, he's shifty, he has all his moves. You watch him play. Those round out my top 4 of my greatest GOATs on my personal round. Mike Tyson, Tiger Woods, Cristiano Ronaldo, and Barry Sanders. Love these guys.
I can't say I don't like them. You know, me and you are our biggest debate that we have is the soccer, the football debate, between Messi and Ronaldo. You like more of that playboy lifestyle, and Messi's a family man. Ronaldo's out there paying somebody to have his kids for him. That way, no one can take them away. I mean that fits you. It is what it is. But I think both of them are great. I don't dislike it. I think it's one of those ones where maybe it's like Serena and Federer. They're gonna, or Tiger and Nicholas. They're gonna be so close that are we always gonna have the debate? Is there ever going to be something that really separates them? I mean, they're close. It's true. As much as I like to hate on Ronaldo because you love him, he's great. Don't deny it.
What you think, Billy? What do you think about Barry Sanders? I know you had Jim Brown, right, as one of your guys.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about how Tiger Woods and then Mike Nicholas, going back and forth, Cristiano Ronaldo and then Messi, who's going to be who's the best or who's this, it's kind of the same thing with LeBron James and Michael Jordan. Most sports have those two guys that are, either, who is the GOAT, who is the greatest at this one sport, I think it really makes the sport good and interesting and, why people want to watch it to see, will this person take the lead? Will this person take over, as, reigning champion or the reigning GOAT, when will this GOAT fall, kind of thing. And I think that's what makes sports so interesting and so entertaining for viewers, for us, just to see where it's going, where it's heading. And, I think it really does help with the sport, with sports altogether, of having, the rivalries, the competition of, I think this guy is better for this reason over this guy. I think it just really, it's what sports are all about at the end of the day. It's, not always having the same viewpoints or opinions, but coming together to watch, the sport you love.
I'm thinking too, like even the players themselves, when they know, it's like, if we know we're debating Mike versus LeBron, Messi and Ronaldo, like what are they as themselves thinking? Like, because Ronaldo, I think they mentioned it. They've had it in interviews where they know they make each other better, right? I think Ronaldo loved it, and Messi said as well. Like they love them competing against each other because it makes them better, right? It makes them want to be better, and it's only going to make them be better, especially when it's all time. You can't play forever, right? Father time comes comes knocking at the door real quick, especially for soccer. And I feel like it's nearing an end for both. I mean, LeBron's probably got a couple more years. Maybe Brady's got a few more years. Cristiano Ronaldo, Messi, right? They're ringing it up. We're gonna have to be having a discussion of who's the now. Now I was kind of interested because I know with you, Billy, you had Michael Jordan, LT, Dirk, and Beltran, and then Cliff, you had Breeze, Jordan, Messi, and Pujols. If let's say there was only one spot for your all-time GOAT personal, right? Eliminating who's your guy? Who's your one athlete?
For me, I would have to say it would be Dirk Nowitzki. He's really what made me enjoy basketball, and just him through all phases of his career. Him with long hair, him with short hair, him with the beard, him without the beard. He really made the Mavs who they are, and I think he would be my number one player if I only had to pick one. Would be Dirk Nowitzki.
Love it. What you got, Cliff?
I'm gonna go to a different sport, and I love the Cardinals. I hold Ozzie Smith in high regard. But I'm gonna pick Albert Pujols. I watched him from the start of his career. Hopefully I'll be able to say, I've seen the end of his career. And just watch him continue his greatness. Continue being the great human being that he is, giving back, giving to others. I have to choose Albert Pujols.
That's it. I mean, my guy, if you guys care, it's Tiger Woods. I love Tiger, right? He's not your major baseball, basketball, football, hockey, track and field, swimming. It's golf, right? Everybody likes golf, but Tiger Woods makes golf fun. And he's like my Cristiano Ronaldo, right? The guy I want to be, right? I want to be the billionaire athlete. I want to be the greatest at a sport. I want all the women's that come with it, right? And that's why people want to get rich and famous. I would love to be Tiger Woods.
It's more than that. It's who makes you love the sport. You talk about golf. Golf. I think a lot of people agree with you. Golf to most people is boring. But if you've ever gone out there and had a few drinks and tried to drive that golf cart and hit the ball around, it's a little bit more difficult than you think. Especially if you're trying to hit the golf ball while you're driving the golf cart. That's a little challenging. But it's those ones that just make you love the sport. It's Kobe for me for basketball. It's those guys that bring you into it. You may like the sport, you may enjoy it, but it's those ones that make you love it, that make you remember it, that are always going to be at the top of your list.
Yeah. No, I had some any honorable mentions that you guys had, because I know I wanted to put Manu, right? I love Manu. I love the way he's passionate. Deion Sanders, right? Guys who just make you love the game. There's only spots for 4. That's why I was kind of wanted to see what the one was, because obviously I'm pretty sure you guys had honorable mentions, right? Guys that you would love to put there, but you only can choose 4, right? There's a lot of sports, but there's only 4 spots. So.
Yeah,
I would. Go ahead, Billy.
Oh, sorry. Honorable mentions. I had Jason Witten on that list. Not necessarily the flashiest guy, but the one game that comes to mind every time I think about Jason Witten in a Cowboys jersey is against the Eagles. Sunday Night Football, when the helmet comes off and he's still trucking, going for an extra 20 yards before he goes down. He's not your flashy receiver, your flashy running back, or he's your Mr. Reliable. He's your tight end who's always going to be there in the flats. Going to catch it 9 times out of 10. No matter what's happening, no matter what coverage there is. So he was definitely honorable mention, on my Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, love win. Cowboy, man. I'm kind of freaking bummed. You get no championships. Obviously count that with Jerry and the coaching staff, but Jason's going to go down as one of the all-time greats. Just wish he had some rings to kind of take it with him, because he's mean, he's done. I mean, I know he came back from retirement, but I mean, we need some fresh blood out there. I mean, obviously they released him, but it's a bummer not to see him win a ring.
I mean, we all watch college football. Who's your favorite college football player?
Current, all time? What are we thinking?
Florida quarterback?
Tim Tebow?
Yeah.
That's what you like?
Hey, look at it this way, okay? If you're not going to consider like he had a winning record in the NFL, one, okay? So there's that, right? If he could find a coach that would build around him, he's someone that you could win with, right? But it's a coach willing to change his game or play of game to Tebow. That's the problem, right? You got to find a coach that will build a system around Tebow, and most coaches ain't willing to do that, right? But when it comes to college football, because we all love college football, you know, how many games have me and you went and watched together, Mike? You know, we've watched games in Japan together. We've watched games in LA together. You know, we've been to USC Stadium. We've been to Oklahoma, right? We went to Oklahoma State play Texas. College football is a huge thing for all of us, right? Tebow is just one of those players. He's a player's player. Like, I mean, he's a winner.
Yeah. He did have 2 rings, but he ain't better than Vince Young. Vince Young's got a winning record in the pros. And he just had Jeff Fisher as his coach. Vince Young, I mean, arguably, I would say, you know what? I'm pretty sure I'd love to see Tim Tebow versus Vince Young, and even everyone would probably pick Vince Young. I mean, Tim Tebow's a great person. That Christian stuff that he brings on, those type of values, that's dull to me. I don't know. I don't hate Tim, but
game on the line. You ain't gonna trust Tebow?
I'm going Vince Young every day.
I'm asking you though, if the game's on the line, right, and you have to have a touchdown, last play of the game, 1 second to go, as soon as you hit hype, whatever happens. You ain't gonna trust Tebow?
I'm pretty sure Vince Young had Urban Meyer. He had 4 national championships. So, I mean, Urban.
Even going with Vince Young, though, you know, the game was on the line with like 5 seconds left to the 2005 national championship against USC. You know, he called his own number, and he got the touchdown. So, I mean.
And that's what I'm saying. I don't hate Vince Young. Like, I don't hate that as his voice. Just personally, Tebow.
No, I thought maybe Sam Bradford, no? Tom Landry or whatever. What else do we have?
Sam Bradford got really brittle.
Who's Billy's all-time college? I mean, if yours is Tim, I got Vince.
Oh, man.
LT? What? I mean, well, LT, right? I mean, I assume. I mean,
Andy Dalton?
Yeah, I mean, I'm about to go with LT, just kind of keep it the same. All-time play right there, you know. TCU, maybe a little biased, but, highest draft pick from out of TCU, completely put the San Diego Chargers on his back for so many years, had the chance of breaking Emmitt Smith's record, and, just time caught up with him. And, if he had a couple more good seasons, I'm talking about about LaDainian Thomas, so many unknowns, but I think out of college, LT is my favorite.
No, LT is a great. I love LT. The thing is just sad that he was on the Chargers. I know Clifford was always had like a small sweet spot in his heart for the Chargers. I don't know why. Phillip Rivers is garbage. Had LT been playing for any other team other than the Chargers, this dude's probably going down as a GOAT, really. I mean,
Phillip Rivers is the most winning quarterback who's never got a title or never won a championship.
So when the game's on the line, you need to get a touchdown. It's not Phillip Rivers. That's what you're telling me? Because
that is true. I'm going to take Breeze. I'm going to take Kurt Warner. I'm going to take who else? Like Brett Favre.
That's the thing is the Chargers always won a lot of games. They're doing 10, 11-4 seasons, 10-5s. Like that is known. I do know that the Chargers did win a lot. You're absolutely right. But when it came down to it, when the playoffs were on the line and Phillip choked, I mean,
Hey, if we need someone to birth out a new team, I'm picking Phillip Rivers. You guys got a lot of kids.
Yeah, love it.
Sports fans, we had a lot of fun with this. We know we picked some Mount Rushmore people that maybe not everybody's going to agree with. Clearly, we don't agree with each other's. We have our own little debates with it, but we hope you enjoyed it. We hope that you come back next time and see what we got for you. Have a good one.
Later, guys. Thanks.